Why, Rita Kraft, you old crook. Yeah. Say, I'm on another show Monday night if you're near a radio. It's called the Railroad Hour, believe it or not. And Monday night at 8 o'clock on KCA. It's ABC. If you're not bathing or something, listen to it, huh?
Don't forget the hologram.
Yeah. Boy, they get some instructions here. They'll all be working for APRA by the time you get through it.
Ladies and
Anything
gentlemen.
else you want to tell me?
Ladies and
Brush
gentlemen.
your teeth with it? Fine, yeah. You going to spell it tonight?
Yeah.
Don't blame me for that. I wasn't even looking at it. I'm just an old stool pigeon sitting here.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't tell a soul, but the secret word tonight is table. T-A-B-L-E.
Really?
You bet your life. Belgian American, creators of America's most beautiful compacts, smartest cigarette cases, finest dresser sets, present Groucho Marx in the Elgin American show, You Bet Your Life, the comedy quiz series produced and transcribed from Hollywood. And here's that sterling Elgin American, the one, the only...
Groucho? Oh, that's me, Groucho Marx. Thank you. Well, here I am again with $1,000 for one of our couples tonight. George Fenneman was first to try and take it away from me.
Well, just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected a pair of middle-aged newlyweds. And here they are. Mr. and Mrs. David James meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to the Elgin American program, folks. And if either of you say the secret word at any time we're talking, you'll win a 16-millimeter Apollo Sound movie projector. It's a common word, something you find around the house. Pair of newlyweds, eh? Congratulations, Mrs. James. When did the big event take place?
September the 11th.
Mm-hmm. And who was there besides you and Mr. James?
Oh, my children, my mother, my friends.
No minister? Mrs. James? What? Your first name is Jessie?
Jessie.
Jessie James. Where's your horse?
I left it outside.
With the engine running, I hope. Huh?
I hope.
I hope so. How did you meet your husband, Mrs. James?
He came into my office to have me adjust a warrant.
Was he wearing it?
Oh, he was carrying it.
Oh, and you do adjustments?
I adjust warrants, yeah.
Not spinals?
No, just warrants.
Mm-hmm. And Mr. James, where are you from?
I'm from Texas.
Mm-hmm. Which part?
All of me.
Mr. James, I want to welcome that joke home. I haven't heard of it in 25 years. Mr. James, which city are you from? Which city do you spring from?
Ranger, Texas.
You're a Texas Ranger, huh? Mr. James, I don't want to insist on knowing your age, but tell me, are you older or younger than your husband?
I'm 10 years younger.
I see. And how old is your husband?
10 years older than I.
He's 10 years older than you are? Well, you're too sharp for me, Mrs. James. I'll never know how old you are. Mr. James, how old are you?
I'm 49.
You're 49, huh? Well, you put your foot in your mouth that time. No, not an easy trick for a man 49. Mr. James, where did you go on your honeymoon?
Santa Barbara.
Why did you pick out Santa Barbara?
Well, all newlyweds go on honeymoon.
Yes, but they don't all go to Santa Barbara.
It's a nice, cool, comfortable spot.
Well, I guess it's nice to be cool on your honeymoon, eh? And where did you go on your honeymoon, Mrs. James?
Santa Barbara.
Santa Barbara, huh? Couldn't get reservations in different places? Mr. James, when did you first realize you were going to get married?
The morning of my wedding.
You didn't find out any too soon, did you, Mr. When did you first realize you two were going to get married, Mrs. James?
Well, very soon after I met him.
This gal is nobody to toy with, I guess. Everything was pretty clear in your mind all the time, huh? You had the handcuffs on him, and he didn't even know it. Mr. James, do you have any little pet names for him? What do you call him when nobody's around?
Apple dumpling.
Did you say apple dumpling?
Yes.
Well, he looks half-baked, huh? And apple dumpling, I'll just call you Dumpling, huh? You can call me the Big Apple, and I'll call you Dumpling. What's your pet name for Jessie here?
I call her Honey.
You call her Honey, huh? And she calls you Apple Dumpling, huh? Can't you two think of anything but food? You must have got married at Clinton's cafeteria. Well, Mr. James, here is just the thing for a new groom, a handsome Elgin-American sterling silver cigarette case.
Oh, thank you.
And you know a new groom sleeps clean.
That is beautiful.
That's a very old joke, and please ignore it, Mr. James. It's not even true. And for the bride, the perfect gift, Elgin-American's lovely Venus dresser set engraved in jeweler's bronze. You like it, Jessie?
Very beautiful.
Well, show it to the customers, huh? Fine customers. They haven't spent a nickel on it. Now, Baby Dumpling, what is your occupation?
I'm with the Treasury Department.
Well, I better keep my mouth shut. And, Honey, that's you, Jessie. Were you working before you got married?
Yes.
You were, huh? Where?
Treasury Department.
What did you do, meet over a pile of money?
Something like that.
Are you working now?
Yes.
Still for the Treasury
Still
Department?
for the Treasury
Well,
Department.
I'm working for the Treasury Department, too. What do you do for the Treasury Department, Mr. James, that the Treasury Department wouldn't do for you? No, just ignore
I
the
collect taxes.
You collect taxes, huh? No wonder you're laughing, huh? And do you collect all the taxes? Huh?
Most of them, yes.
You pass them right on to where they belong? What are you laughing about? Do you make apple cider do all the work around the house? Huh?
Well, no, I do the work, but he helps me.
He helps. Well, how does he help you with the housework, huh?
Stays out of my way.
My wife and I have a 50-50 arrangement. She gives me 50 things to do, and I have 50 excuses why I don't do them. Now, Apple Dumpling, how many friends did you have before you decided to... Oh, no, you're Honey, aren't you?
Yeah,
huh?
I'm Honey.
You're Honey. How many boyfriends did you have before you decided to trap Apple Strudel here, huh?
Oh, I had 2 or 3.
2 or 3, huh?
Uh-huh.
And what was there about him that made you decide to marry him?
Well, he was very quiet and comfortable.
You could have got that with a Sealy mattress. Now, what was there about her that made you decide to marry her, David?
I think it was her walk. The sway in her walk.
You mean she's a swayback? Would you mind walking up and down, Jesse, and give us a sample walk? Hey, that's quite a swing at that, huh? When my Aunt Minnie was a girl, she couldn't keep any of her bows. Of course, she didn't have all her buttons. Now, Mrs. James, what's the biggest mistake you ever made?
The biggest mistake I ever made was my most embarrassing moment, too.
Well, what was the most embarrassing moment?
He and I were standing by an elevator in the Treasury Department, and he asked me if I would go out with him. And the elevator came, and I was making up my mind, and I stepped into the elevator, and my garter broke. And I said...
Your stockings went down, and the elevator went up. Is that it?
And I said, no. And that would have been a big mistake.
You said no just because your stocking fell down?
I was so embarrassed.
I see. Just one stocking?
Just one stocking.
You're like Diddle Diddle Dumpling, huh?
That's the way I felt.
Went to bed with the stockings on. One shoe off and one shoe on. Diddle Diddle Dumpling. See, that's what happens when you have a 2.5-year-old kid. Now, how do you think marriage has benefited Mr. James?
Oh, he's not so quiet, but he's more mellow.
More mellow. Mm-hmm. Well, an apple gets that way after a while. I thought you were going to say you look kind of seedy. Huh? That's an apple, too. Now, how do you think marriage has benefited your wife, Dave?
She's learned to play chess.
And you have the people in now? You all play chess together?
We have
sort of community chess, huh? No? You just two of you sit home at night and play chess?
Yes.
Well, it takes quite some time to play one of those games, doesn't it? To conclude one? How long does it usually take you to play a game of chess?
Oh, 30 minutes.
More like an hour.
Just seems that way, Jesse, huh?
Oh, I'm just a beginner.
Oh, I see. Well, who's the boss in your family, Dave?
I am.
You are. Huh? Now, Jesse, do you think he's the boss in your family?
Yes, he's the boss.
I can tell by the way you say that now. Now, let's make sure. Mr. James, who pays the bills at your house?
I do.
Well, then you're the boss. Do you handle the money?
Yes.
You do, huh? Or does she give you the money to pay the bills? Eh?
Well, she gives me the money to pay the bills.
I see. I guess you wear the pants in your family, but apparently it's only because your wife gives you a belt now and then. I mean to hold them up. Well, you make a lovely, charming couple, and I know your marriage is going to be a long and happy one. Isn't that true?
I hope so.
Yes. Would you mind walking for me again? Say, she likes walking, this girl. Huh? Come on back, Jesse, yeah? Now, in just 1 minute, you're going to play the Elgin American game for $1,000. Fenneman, take over while I go out and cane one of my daughter's suitors.
Have you looked at your compact lately? If it's battered or shoddy, it should be discarded. This one accessory that you actually use more than any other, and use where people can see it, is extremely important to your smartness. So important, in fact, that fashion says every woman needs 3 compacts to keep her daytime clothes, sportswear, and evening apparel completely harmonious. Don't let your compacts count against you when you can get exquisite Elgin Americans from the widest choice there is of stunning styles and convenient prices. Elgin American designing is beautifully individual. The craftsmanship is famous for perfection. So look at your compact tonight. And tomorrow, get the new compact that will do the most for your smartness, because it's first in fashion and Elgin American.
Now, let's see if you two will get a chance at the $1,000 question. You're going to play You Bet Your Life. Fenneman, tell them the rules.
Each of our 3 couples has $20. They bet as much of that 20 as they want in each of 4 questions. The couple that earns the most money gets a chance at the $1,000 question at the end of the show. Our other 2 couples are in a waiting room off stage, so they won't know what goes on until it's their turn.
Here we go. Let's see how high you can build your $20. What question category did you select?
Farm animals.
Farm animals, that's right. Here's your first question. And how much of the 20 are you going to risk on this one?
$10.
$10. What kind of a farm animal is a Guernsey?
Cow.
Cow is correct.
They're off to a great start. They have $30.
Remember, you're going for $1,000 tonight. Now, how much of your 30 will you bet on this one?
20.
15? 20?
20.
We'll find out who's the boss here anyhow, huh? Which is it? 20. Okay. What kind of an animal is a caracal? K-A-R-A-K-U-L.
It's a rabbit. No?
Rabbit.
What is it?
Caracal?
Oh, it's a goat.
No, you were close, but it's a sheep.
They now have $10.
Now, you have $10. Now, here's your third question. Now, how much of the 10 are you going to bet this time?
Well, we'll bet 5 this
5? All right, here it is. What kind of a farm animal is a toggenburg? It's a tough one.
A target.
Take a stab at it. It must be some kind of an animal.
Toggenburg.
Toggenburg.
Does he belong on the farm?
Yes.
They now have $5.
I'm sorry, it's a goat.
They now have $5.
You now have $5. Now, here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 5 are you going to bet this time?
We'll have to bet it all.
You're going to bet it all. All right. What kind of a farm animal is a percheron?
It's a horse.
It's a horse is correct.
And they wind up with $10.
Thanks and good luck from Elgin American Compacts. Don't go away. You may still have a chance at the big question.
Perhaps the next couple will say the secret word, Groucho. It's table. They've been in a waiting room off stage. Okay, boys, bring in the assistant general manager of the Los Angeles Better Business Bureau and the housewife, chosen by our studio audience just before we went on the air. And here they come. Mrs. Irene Martin and Mr. Robert Sample meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to the Elgin American program. And if either of you say the secret word at any time we're talking, you each win a 16-millimeter Apollo sound movie projector. It's a common word, something you find around the house. Mrs. Irene Martin, where are you from?
West Bend, Wisconsin.
Where's that?
West Bend, Wisconsin.
West Bend, Wisconsin? Is that anywhere in South Bend, Indiana?
Not too far.
Not too far. Huh? They're probably brothers, huh? And what does your husband do, Mrs. Martin?
He's the foundry superintendent for Pix Industries at West Bend.
Mm-hmm. And what do they manufacture there?
Everything.
Everything. Well, that's a good kind of a factory to have. For example?
Well, they make castings for tractors and different implements.
Mm-hmm. Well, I get on with that. Now, Mr. Sample, you're from the... big fellow, isn't he? You're from the Better Business Bureau, eh? How's business?
Excellent.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad to hear it. Now, tell me, where are you from?
The Better Business Bureau.
Okay, how's business, huh?
Excellent.
Hasn't gotten any better yet, huh? Tell me, where are you from? And if you say the Better Business Bureau, I'm going to give you the business, huh?
I'm from Uniontown, Pennsylvania, originally.
Uniontown, Pennsylvania.
That's
huh?
right.
Where is that? Near
Well,
where?
it's in Pennsylvania, near Pittsburgh.
Near Pittsburgh, huh? You look pretty light, huh? Mrs. Martin, how did you meet your husband?
In the insane asylum.
Couldn't pick a more ideal spot for a romance. Huh? You met your husband in the insane asylum?
That's right.
What was he doing?
Well, we were seeking employment.
Oh, he wasn't an inmate, huh?
No.
And did you get the employment, huh?
Yes, we did.
And where are you from, Better Businessman, huh?
I'm Uniontown, Pennsylvania.
I see. And what does the Better Business Bureau do?
Well, the Better Business Bureau tries to help the public against misleading, fraudulent, and unethical advertising and selling practices.
Mm-hmm. That sounds like a pretty worthwhile outfit. Tell me, how's business?
Excellent.
Glad to hear it's still holding up. Huh? Are your profits inflated like anybody else's?
No, we're a non-profit organization.
The Better Business Bureau doesn't make any money? No wonder you want better business. You're running a business all wrong. What's the last job you worked on, huh?
We're worked on fake public relations counselors.
Uh-huh. I've got some fake relations, too. Huh? What does that mean, fake public relations counselors?
Well, these fellows work with unscrupulous photographers to get foreign parents' children into the movies, so they say, which is just phony baloney.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a lot of baloney in the movies, huh? And how do they go about this? They take pictures?
Well, they
promise them jobs?
That's right. They promise them jobs, charge a fee, and then after they get the fee, they don't do anything more about it.
Mm-hmm. Now, Mr. Sample, what are some of the more common schemes for fleecing the public?
Well, there's the homework scheme, for example, where the salesman goes around and says, we'd like to use your house as a show house. We'll paint up the sides, or we'll put a new roof on it, or we'll do sidings and so forth, and then we'll bring the others around and show it to you and sell from your house. But won't cost you anything because we'll pay you commissions with all we get. But after they've signed them up to an inflated contract, then they're satisfied. They never come around with anybody, and they would never make anything as a result of it. The people pay out more than they would pay a legitimate operator.
I see. Well, thanks a lot. There's one business I'm not going to try, huh? and now tell me, in general, would you, what other rackets are there?
Well,
Mr.
there's
Sample?
the fake radio repair. That's the ordinary person knows how to turn on a radio set and tune it in. But if nothing happens, then they're stuck.
You mean like our show, you mean?
Well, they could be, but then they're stuck. So they have to call in a radio repairman and may only need a new tube, but he'll charge them for condensers and what have you. Run up a bill of $30 or $40 when actually the price of a tube would do the trick.
Mm-hmm. Well, would you say, in general, most business firms are honest in their dealings with the public?
Almost 100%.
Well, so every business is almost honest.
Oh, no, I didn't say that. I say almost every business is 100%.
But your business isn't, is that what you mean?
Oh, no, I didn't say that either.
Now, look here, bottom of the deck. I don't know what your racket is, but don't pull any funny business here. You're not dealing with a sucker now, you know, huh? How many phony deals do you investigate in a week?
I should say perhaps 400 to 500.
400 to 500 in a week?
That's right.
There are that many thieves around?
Well, there are a good many.
Well, just to show you that you're among friends, here are your gifts from our sponsor. For each of you, Elgin American's lovely, round, compact, engraved in jeweller's bronze. Mr. Sample, your wife will love it.
I should say she will.
And Mrs. Martin, how do you like yours?
Oh, it's beautiful.
Now, Mrs. Martin, to get back to you, what happened when you and your husband met in that asylum?
Lots of things.
Well, what, for example?
Well, I was seeking work. I'd just been out of high school and was going into nurses training in the fall.
He saw you and went off his nut, is that it?
And I was looking through the want ads for jobs, and I see there was a young couple wanted at this Dane County Asylum. So I knew a young man in the town there, and I says, let's take a drive out there. He was looking for work, too. Mm-hmm. And when we got out there was another couple sitting there waiting to see about the job. And the fellow I was with wasn't a bit interested after we got there. It looked too weird for him. And this other girl that was with the other fellow didn't seem a bit anxious for the work. And this fellow was very handsome. In fact, I thought next to Ruta Fontino, he was the most handsome man I'd ever seen. And
well, did you ever see him next to Ruta Valentino?
That's what was running through my mind.
Oh.
So we went in and we were interviewed. And this man seemed to act like he liked us. So he took us down through the corridors and told us this was at 8 o'clock in the evening, and told us what would be expected of us. He introduced us to the matron, and then he took us down to the kitchen, showed us the tables and chairs where the...
Mrs. Martin, you said it. You said table, and that's the secret word. So you each win an Apollo 16mm sound movie projector. And not only that, but you could also walk out of here tonight with over $1,000. Now, where were we? What part of the asylum were we in when... You two finally got married, Mrs. Martin, huh?
Well, then they showed us all through the place, and then they showed us where we would have to sleep. And here I'd never seen the man until this. And he just kept nudging me, and I thought, gee, I was born and raised on the farm. I better get back there before I get into trouble.
Yeah.
And so...
Couldn't you get in trouble on the farm?
So we went home that evening, and he ditched his girlfriend, and I ditched this fellow, and we met, and there was a nice lagoon down back the place where I lived, and we planned our marriage. We were married the next day.
That's nice.
We spent our honeymoon.
That's lovely, and the minister wore a straitjacket. Well, besides that, when was the last time you were swindled, Mrs. Martin, huh?
Well, let's see. I ordered some reducing soap, and it didn't work.
You tried the reducing soap and you didn't lose anything?
Just what I invested in the wrapper.
Well, you didn't read the wrapper carefully. It said the soap will reduce, not you. Huh? Now, what did you do about it, did you? Were you wearing a wrapper at the time or just the soap, huh? But what did you do about it, Mrs. Martin? Did you get your money back?
No, I wrote them a letter and I never heard from them.
No, you should never have listened to their soft soap in the first place, huh? Now, better business. Did she do the right thing in writing them a letter?
Well, no.
Well, what should she have done, huh?
She should have contacted us immediately.
You mean you wanted Mrs. Martin to jump out of that bathtub and run down? That's a skin game if I ever heard one. Now, Mr. Sample, what's the most unusual swindling case you ever worked on?
Well, I think the most unusual case is the confidence man who worked a swindle behind prison bars while he was in the penitentiary.
This wasn't a bar of soap, huh?
No, this was steel bars.
Oh, I see.
While he was in the penitentiary.
Steel soap, too, you know.
Cast steel.
I beg your pardon, Mr. Sample.
He was in the penitentiary, and he
I'd call it the can, if you don't mind.
All right, the can. He was hired 20 girls to work in an office downtown, and he put ads in the newspapers.
While he was in jail?
While he was in jail in the tobacco-growing country, offered a prize, a contest of $1,000 for the best 5-pound sample of choice tobacco.
Smoker lucky.
Then, at the same time, he advertised to sell 5 pounds of choice tobacco at $1 for the 5-pound package. So when the people sent in the tobacco for the contest, he just removed one label, put on another label, and sent it out to the people that had paid for the tobacco. And he said the point about it, after we got up with him, he said, actually, the people merit their money's worth, but of course they couldn't smoke it. The tobacco was too green. He said, man, I had...
So were the people.
I had the biggest advertising campaign. Even I outshot some of the famous advertisers throughout the country. He said, I really had a campaign. But he said they got their money's worth.
And what did they do? Did they put him in jail?
He was already there.
Oh, he was. I didn't know you could operate a business from jail.
Well, it's a fancy operation. You have to be in the know.
Must be, huh? I guess you have to know a lot about it, huh? Now, Mrs. Martin, what was your biggest mistake? Just the soap episode, huh?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know you 25 years ago.
Well, I'm still here, Mrs. Martin. Mr. Sample, tell me, how much money do you estimate people lose each year on crooked schemes?
Well, it's pretty hard to say, but I would say several hundred millions of dollars. Oh, locally.
Locally. Yeah.
Locally, I would say several hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Mm-hmm. You don't happen to know of any scheme that has a good opening, do you?
Well, we might look around.
What do you advise the public to do in order to avoid getting fleeced?
Before you invest, investigate.
Mm-hmm. And how do I investigate a crooked business? Huh?
That's our business.
Well, how's business? I'll crack that story yet. Where are you from, mister?
I'm from Pennsylvania.
Still the same old place, huh? Well, better business. When you get a complaint about some questionable business deals, what do? Pretend I own a used car business and somebody complained about my methods. It's ridiculous, of course, but what are some of the questions you'd ask? Go ahead.
Well, what's your firm name?
Well, our firm is pretty shaky. We haven't got a firm name, huh?
Are you the sole owner?
Well, I have charge of the heels. The sole owner, he's out now for lunch, huh?
Well, tell me something of your antecedent record.
Well, most of them are in Philadelphia right now.
What's the type of your business?
Cuckoo clocks.
Oh, I see. Well, what about bank references?
Well, I could give you one from a cuckoo, huh?
That's an idea.
I have some good references from the Bank of America.
You have?
Yes, I have more references there than I have money. Well, now that you have the facts, would you say I have a legitimate, honest business?
Well, I don't know. I believe you're a case for the FBI.
Well, they're a pretty good outfit, eh? They've been getting a lot of my business recently. Well, I've kidded the Better Business Bureau, but I know they're doing a great job protecting the public from unscrupulous swindlers. I know they're doing a great job because I haven't sold a gold brick for months. And now you're going to play the Elgin American game. If you run your $20 into more than the other couples, you get a chance at the $1,000 question. Fenneman, remind our listeners how much the first couple won. Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. What question category did you select?
State nicknames.
Nicknames, sir. Is that what you did?
Wait a minute, just hold it.
State nicknames? Well, we have the wrong thing up there.
Everybody relax.
Everybody relax.
Relax.
There'll be a 20-minute intermission here. Of course, the doors are locked, but you'll have to remain here just the same.
We have two.
A funny thing happened to me on my way to the theater this morning. All right, here we go. Nicknames of states, eh?
That's
You were
it.
more accurate than we were. Now, here's your first question. You have $20, and how much of this will you bet?
Oh, I think we bet $10.
All right. What state is nicknamed the Golden State?
California.
California is right.
We're off to a good start. They have $30.
Remember, you're going for $1,000 tonight. How much of your 30 will you bet this time?
Oh, we ought to bet 25?
All right, Mrs. Martin, what state is known as the Empire State?
New York.
New York is right.
They're really on their way. They have $55.
Here's your third question. How much of the 55 are you going to risk?
Shall we bet 50?
50? What state is known as the Hawkeye State?
Indiana.
Oklahoma.
One answer between you now. Take a stab.
Idaho.
I'm sorry. It's Idaho. It's Iowa.
No.
Iowa. I could get lynched here tonight with a whole house full of Iowans out there.
See.
Groucho, they now have $5.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're down to $5. I presume you're going to bet the 5 this
That's
time?
right.
Here's your last chance to beat the other couple. Don't get discouraged. How much you're going to bet the whole thing? What state is known as the Bluegrass State?
Kentucky.
Kentucky is right.
They wind up with $10.
Thanks and good luck from Elgin American Compacts. Now, in just 1 minute, our last couple will play You Bet Your Life, and then we'll know who gets the chance at the $1,000 question. So far, the two couples are tied. Fenneman, it's your turn.
Evening calls for extra special accessories. And the most elegant compact you can carry is sterling silver by Elgin American. Many have matching cigarette cases and lighters to add even more to your luxury look. And a man can do handsome things for his evening appearance with one of Elgin American's sterling silver cigarette cases. Here, too, there are lighters to match. And all these sterling silver accessories are lower priced than you might expect at leading jewelry stores, department stores, and specialty shops. You'll feel so confident of your evening perfection. You'll look so much more impressive when your compact, cigarette case, and lighter are beyond compare. Sterling Silver by Elgin American.
Well, we'll soon know who's going to earn the most money tonight and get the chance at the $1,000 question. George, who's ahead so far?
Well, the first two couples are tied at $10 each. And here's our final couple, Groucho. They've been in a waiting room off stage, so they don't know the secret word is table. Okay, boys, bring them in. We invited several taxi dancers and some male hairstylists to the show, and just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Miss Lynn Allen and Mr. Frank Baum, and here they are. Folks, meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to the Elgin American program. And if either of you say the secret word at any time we're talking, you each win a 16-millimeter Apollo sound movie projector. It's a common word, something you find around the house. Mr. Frank Baum, at which a male hairstylist and a taxi dancer, eh? Mr. Baum, at which beauty salon do you get into people's hair?
At the House of Westmore's.
And do you work only on stars?
Oh,
can
no.
People with ordinary-sized heads sit under your dryer?
We serve the entire public.
I see. And what are some of the stars you've operated on?
Well, Lana Turner, Jane Russell, and many of the old silent screen stars.
Silent screen stars?
Clara Bow and that area back in 28.
I used to play at Clara Bow years ago. And where are you from?
I'm from the Roseland.
Miss Allen, huh?
From the Roseland Roof.
Roseland Roof, huh? You're a taxi dancer, eh?
Right.
Yeah. Are you married?
No, I'm not.
You're not. Where do you trip the light fantastic? At the Roseland Roof? Huh?
Right.
You dance on the roof. Isn't it pretty steep? Huh? Do you wear tennis shoes?
Flats.
Do you dance with shingle men? Or just on the roof?
All types of men.
Huh?
All types of
All
men.
types of men. Huh? Well, tell me, Pablo, why do they call you taxi dancers?
Well, they don't call us taxi dancers. They call us hostesses.
I see. I didn't think your meter was running. Taxi dancer. That's a silly expression anyway. Who'd want to dance in a taxi? Do many hostesses marry customers?
Quite a few have.
Uh-huh. You approve of that?
I neither approve nor disapprove.
You're just indifferent?
Well, I think it's very nice if they're happy, and I understand that some of them have made very happy marriages.
I see. Would you like to get married?
No,
Why not?
because I'm a career girl.
Well, that can't last indefinitely, can it?
I don't know why not.
You want to be dancing when you're 75 years old?
No, I'm interested in publicity work.
Oh, well, you can get a lot of that up there, I imagine. Now, basso profundo, Mr. Baum over here. Well, basso profano, are you married, Mr. Baum?
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm. Are you loaded, Mr. Baum? You're married, then you have your own home permanent, huh? Or permanent home. Now, do you have any little bobby pins at home? Huh?
No, we don't have any bobby pins.
Do you have any little curls? Huh?
No children whatsoever.
No children? Who does your wife's hair?
I do,
Why?
because no one else can do it to please her.
How long does it take her to fix her hair in the morning? Huh?
Oh, about 15 minutes.
And how long would it take you to do the same job?
About 5.
It's because she has a lot more hair than you have. Isn't it? Would you object if I asked you how old you are, Miss Allen?
Certainly not.
Well, how old are you?
24.
24. You want to guess how old I am?
Not particularly.
Go ahead, take a stab at it.
About 60?
I didn't anticipate the stab would go so deep. Well, take another stab at it, huh? A light one this time, if you don't mind.
62?
60. Miss Allen, you may not be aware of it, but you could win a lot of money from me tonight.
55.
Is there any chance of you going the other way?
55.
55? No, try 51, huh?
51.
I'll settle for 51. Matter of fact, I'd settle for 80, huh? Now tell me, at Roseland Roof, how many girls act as dance hostesses?
About 100.
100 girls. That's in round figures, I suppose. Suppose if I went down to your dance hall, could I dance with all 100 of them?
You certainly could. We'd be glad to have you.
Just imagine me dancing with 100 beautiful girls. Huh? Old Octopus Marx, they'd call me. Matter of fact, one girl did call me that, huh? Also known as Handy Andy, huh? Well, I'd like to show my appreciation to both of you for being here. For Mr. Baum, here is Elgin American's handsome silver finish cigarette case.
Thank you.
And for Lynn Allen, a silver finish compact by Elgin American. How do you like it?
Oh, it's lovely.
It's lovely. Are all
Thank
the
you.
girls as pretty as you are up there?
Oh, they're all different types.
All different types. Pretty cagey gal, aren't you? Huh? What's the most common job you do on a woman's hair, Mr. Baum?
Well, we don't do any common jobs. We do mostly hairdressing, if that's what you're referring to.
This fellow could slay me while I'm sitting here. You do hairdressing, huh?
Yes, sir.
I see. You're the kind of a man who can really turn a girl's head from blonde to brunette, huh?
Oh, definitely.
I used to go with a decided blonde. It was just that morning she decided, huh? How much do you charge for a permanent wave?
What kind? Hot or cold?
Well, 3 minutes in the shell.
Oh, they
A
vary.
cold wave, huh?
They vary in prices.
Now, what's the difference between a hot wave and a cold wave, huh?
Well, a hot wave, we apply heat, and a cold wave is a chemical wave.
When I played the army camps up in Alaska, they had a cold wave up there. You wouldn't go out with anyone, huh? I said when I played the army camps up in Alaska. Wasted on the desert air. How often do you go to a beauty parlor, Miss Allen?
Never.
Never. Well, there's no necessity for you going to a beauty parlor.
Thank
that
you.
would be Coles to Newcastle, Miss Allen. Huh? Now, why don't you go to a beauty parlor? That'll give you an idea of how treacherous I am.
Well, it's very simple. I think it's easier to do my own, and I do it the way I like it.
Mm-hmm. Can you manage the whole thing without cleaning it up there? Huh? That's not very good for you, is it, Frankie, old boy? Huh? This is Frankie boy here, huh? Now, finger wave, take a look at Miss Allen's hair. Tell me, is she wearing it correctly?
Miss Allen should be commented on the creation she has designed for herself. She could have a little more height, and her temples are a little too snug for her features.
Her temples are too snug?
That's right.
You go every Saturday morning? What do you mean her temples are too snug?
Well, she wears her hair too tight along her temple lines.
Have you been drinking, Miss Allen?
No.
Why do you wear your hair so tight, huh?
Well, I suppose that...
Does he know what he's talking about, Miss?
Well, he's the expert.
He's the expert, but you've got the hair. Don't forget, you're the heir to the throne here, huh?
Well, I have a reason for wearing it this way. I've found through a process of elimination that most of my customers prefer my hair this way. Mm-hmm. And after all, we're down there to make money.
And what should a woman remember in styling her hair, Miss Allen?
Well, I don't know. Frank, what should a woman remember?
Frank?
Well, the very first thing we must remember in styling a lady's hair, the first thing must be watched are the ears. Any woman that has large ears, huh? Yes, must cover them.
Why? What's the matter with ears, huh?
Well, no woman that has large protruding ears should wear their hair up or expose her ears.
What about a jackass? How much would you charge me for an oil shampoo, Mr. Baum?
Well, about $2.
$2?
Yes.
That's cheap enough. It usually costs me more than that to get oiled. Now, Sally Rand, tell me, as a dance hall hostess, just what do you do?
Dance with the customers.
I see. And how much does it cost to dance at your ballroom?
12 cents a dance.
12 used to be 10 cents a dance. That song wouldn't be any good now, would it?
No, how it works.
Wouldn't it sound silly if they sang 12 cents a dance? That's what they pay me. Do they play that up there?
No, they don't.
Well, how do you get paid? By the dance or by the jitter?
You get paid by the dance.
Mm-hmm. Now, how much does it cost just to sit one out?
The same thing.
How long does each dance last?
About 90 seconds.
Take me that long to climb up on your feet. How many dances do you average on an average night, huh?
About between 200 and 250.
250 dances?
Mm-hmm.
And with how many men would that be approximately?
Well, it depends. You usually get customers that dance with you a half hour, an hour.
That runs into money, huh?
10, 5.
It's almost cheaper to get married. Huh? How many miles do you figure you cover in a week?
Approximately between 60 and 70.
Mm-hmm. And how much do you get on a mile, huh? No. For a minute, I thought you were a Buick. Huh? What kind of men make the best dances, fat ones or skinny ones?
Well, almost any man, if he has a sense of rhythm, is a good partner.
Well, do fat men dance better than thin men?
I don't know. I haven't noticed that there's any particular difference.
Well, aren't they heavier to pull around, the fat men?
It would depend.
Do many of your customers try to make dates with you?
Almost all of them.
You can count me in on that, too, huh? I'm not even a customer. For 12 cents, I can make a date with them. Huh? What do you tell them when they want to make a date?
It's against the rules for the girls to go out with the customers.
Suppose the customer's persistent and insists on a date.
We just tell them that we're sorry we can't go out.
Well, that's what happened last night, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you're dancing with a man, what does he usually talk about?
Oh, almost anything. Business, problems, about himself.
About himself, huh? I mean, about his home life, huh?
Right.
Married men talk about their wives?
Let's not go into that.
Now, Spitcale, tell me, when you're setting... When you're setting a woman's hair in your beauty parlor, in the abattoir beauty parlor, what is the most common type of conversation?
Oh, about their husbands or boyfriends.
Their husbands or boyfriends?
That's right.
Oh, that gives them quite a lot to talk about. And do you eavesdrop?
Oh, not necessarily.
Do you give them advice?
No.
You don't. Do they ever ask you about different problems?
No, they
want
do
you
not.
to solve them?
They do not.
I see. Have you had any unusual experiences with movie stars, their hair? Temperamental movie stars?
Well, not with movie stars so much. You find the bigger the player, the more congenial the customer. It's a smaller type of player that gives you trouble.
What about toupees? Has anybody ever sent in a toupee and want it fixed?
Oh, yes, we do that every day.
Uh-huh. And who pays the toupee? Does the toupee have the money right with him? Or does the toupee run home and get the money and come back again?
Well, as a rule, a chauffeur or a houseboy.
Every toupee has a chauffeur? You mean that's a Ford toupee, huh? Well, don't any poor men wear toupees?
I don't think they can afford them.
I guess it's the overhead that kills them, huh? What's the biggest mistake you ever made, Mr. Baum?
Talking back to a traffic officer.
And what happened?
Yeah, I got 5 days in jail.
That'll teach you to keep your trap shut, huh? Now, what's the most exciting experience you ever had?
Well, the most exciting experience I ever had was in Chicago. I was held up. The chap found out I was broke, so he gave me $1.
You don't know where he is tonight, huh? I'd settle for 4 bits. Now, Lynn, what's the biggest mistake you ever made?
Oh, I don't know. I guess I was pretty fond of a fellow, and he was quite an expert fisherman. So, on my first date with him, I'd already informed him that I was real proficient at the art of fishing. We decided...
What?
I was very good at fishing.
Oh, I thought you said you were very proficient at fishing.
Yeah, proficient.
I was a little confused.
I'm sorry.
So am I.
Well, anyway, we went
I'll go on with the story. Reading time, 6 minutes.
We went on a date down to Malibu, and we started to cast out from the end of the pier. And as I cast out, a pelican came along and grabbed my bait and got hooked. So the first fish I ever caught was a pelican, and I had to confess that I knew nothing about fishing.
Or pelicans, huh?
Or pelicans.
And what happened?
Well, I think that was about my most embarrassing moment, because I had an awful crush on him.
You mean you left the fellow and went home with a pelican? Well, I guess a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush, huh? As a ballroom hostess, Miss Allen, which would you say are the most vain, men or women?
Men.
And Mr. Baum, as a hairstylist who works on a lot of women, which do you think are the most vain, men or women?
Well, you know, there are no homely women. And
There aren't any homely women?
No.
You should see some of the dishes I've been out with, huh? They wouldn't give them away in a movie theater, huh?
And every woman thinks
What a liar. There aren't any homely women, huh? You're pelican happy. That's the trouble with you.
And every woman thinks she has charm to
soothe the savage beast.
That's right.
And there aren't any homely women, huh? Well, since all the men are trying to make all the women fall for them and vice versa, you should both open an ice skating rink and I'll run the liniment concession. Well, you're an interesting couple and very informative. Now, let's see how you can work together as a team for $1,000. You're the last couple to play You Bet Your Life. Beat the other two couples, and you get the $1,000 question. I can't tell you how much they won, but George is off stage to remind our listeners. Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. What question category did you select?
Hit songs of 1935.
That's right. Now, here's your first question, and how much of your $20 you're going to bet?
10.
All right with you, Lynn?
Right.
Fine. Give me the title of this song. Play, Stan.
Lullaby Broadway.
Lullaby of Broadway is right.
They're off to a great start. They have $30.
Remember, you are going for 1,000 smack-holders tonight. How much of your $30 will you bet on this one?
20.
20? What
Right.
a fine voice he's got. He frightens you, doesn't he? All right, you're going to bet 20 of the 30. Give me the title of this song.
East of the sun and west
East
of
of
the
the
moon.
sun and west of the moon.
They now have $50.
Here's your third question. How much of the 50 are you going to try this time?
40.
40? All right, Lem. He may strike her before this is over. What is the name of this song?
Lovely to look
Lovely
at.
to look at is correct.
And for that lovely answer, they now have $90.
Mr. Baum, you may not like Miss Allen, but you should be mighty happy she's up here with you tonight.
I sure am.
While you're over in that hair parlor, she's learned all these songs. All right, you've got Say, that'd be a good name for a German, huh? Hair parlor. And now give me the name of this one. Here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the $90 you going to try?
Just 90.
Just 90, huh? All right, Lynn?
Just so.
Okay, here we go. Give me the title of this song. Play, Stan.
Lucky
You
Star.
Are My Lucky Star is right.
And they wind up with a grand total of $180. So that means that they, the dance hostess and the hairstylist with $180, get a chance at the $1,000 question.
Congratulations. In just 30 seconds, I'll ask the $1,000 question.
Elgin American is America's #1 name in compacts. Elgin American is America's #1 name in compacts. Choose yours from rich costume colors, silver finish, and jeweler's bronze at prices you'll like to pay. Men and women will find Elgin American sterling silver cigarette cases and lighters the handsome affairs evening calls for. Exquisite sterling silver compacts, too. You'll never know how smart, how perfectly made these accessories can be until you carry Elgin Americans. And here's the winning couple, the dance hostess and the hairstylist.
Well, back again to try for $1,000, eh? Good luck. I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you, so talk it over thoroughly and no help in the audience, please. Here it is for $1,000. Hernando de Soto, the Spanish explorer, was looking for gold when he accidentally stumbled onto something much more important. What river did he discover?
One answer.
What is the answer you two have decided upon? One answer between you.
Sacramento River.
I'm sorry. De Soto discovered the Mississippi River. It's the only thing left in the country that has never been given away on a quiz program. So that means the big question next week will be worth $1,500. Congratulations and thanks to both of you.
Thank you.
The Elgin American Show, You Bet Your Life, is a John Goodell production, transcribed from Hollywood, directed by Bob Dwan, editor Bernie Smith, music by Stanley Myers. Remember, next week's big question pays $1,500. Be sure to tune in again next Wednesday night at this time for You Bet Your Life, starring Groucho Marx, presented by the creators of America's most beautiful compacts, smartest cigarette cases, and finest dresser sets, Elgin American.
Folks, last year a great many people needed the help of the Red Cross. Now the Red Cross needs your help to the tune of $60 million. It's a big sum, but the Red Cross does a big job, aiding a national disaster, saving veterans, promoting health and safety. Somewhere the Red Cross is helping somebody every day. Your dollars make it possible. And when you give generously. Good night. Have you looked at your compact lately?